Hi guys, I'm Sarah and hopefully I'm coming to you loud and clear. I'm a bit fancy, I've got a lapel mic for my birthday. So anyway, I'm looking a bit professional now, but not so professional that you don't know it's me, so don't worry, I've still got dishes in the background and life's going on. However, I'm doing a recipe today by popular demand from my kids. I love my hot cross bun recipe. I absolutely stand by that. That's the one I make every year, and I'll put a link to that down below. But what I did was I got my original hot cross bun recipe and I just tweaked it a bit to make it chocolate. So I'm going to get my stand mixer Dave to help me with this. But you don't need a stand mixer, you can just, you can knead it by hand, it's not a major. I always have done in the past. But in Dave's bowl here, I'm going to put 1 cup of flour. Just leave the flour out because we will be needing a couple more cups of that. You can use high grade flour. I'm just using plain flour because at the moment at my current supermarket, it's cheaper than high grade. So, it still works, it's fine. 1/3 of a cup of cocoa powder. And I'm just gonna sieve that because it's got a lot of bumps in it. 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar. Just get those away mixed together. You can just do it by hand, but Dave's here. I don't want him to feel left out, so I totally forgot to the rest of that stuff. We want to add a decent tablespoon of breadmakers yeast into here. We want 1/2 cup of milk, just any kind of milk. Just got a 1/4 cup measure there, so. And 1/2 cup of boiling water. The reason we mix these together and not add them into the dry mixture separately is because the boiling water can actually just kill the yeast. Add them in. Let Dave do his thing again for a bit. Bowl, 25 grams of butter melted. 1 egg. Mix up. This can be a personal preference thing, but I add 2 teaspoons of mixed spice and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Have a good mix up. And normally, if I'm making your traditional hot cross buns, I would add my dried fruit in, but instead I'm going to be putting chocolate chips in here, because chocolate. And I found if I add them in while I'm mixing all this, because the mixture is still slightly warm, the chocolate chips just melt into it, and although that's super yummy, it makes them quite thick and dense, super chocolatey, and you don't get chocolate chips in, you just get chocolate that's been melted and spread throughout the mixture. Not saying that was not delicious, but I like having chocolate chips, and so I mix this all together first, and then I will show you. I knead the chocolate chips into the dough once it's all mixed together. And we want to knead it for about 10 minutes. So if you're doing it by hand, knead it by hand for about 10 minutes, or, get your kitchen mixer, whatever it's called, get them to do the kneading for you for about 10 minutes. Cover the bowl up and leave it for about 20 minutes, just for the yeast to do what it wants to do. Right, back, got my chocolate chippies. What I'm going to do now, of course this dough has cooled down quite a bit. I'm going to incorporate the chocolate chips into here. When it comes to chocolate, you measure it with your heart. However, I'm going for about 1 cup because that's how much I would normally add in the way of raisins and dried fruit into my hot cross buns. 1 cup and a few for me. Oh yeah. I'm just going to stretch it out, throw some of the chocolate chips in, and just smoosh it all about so that they're well incorporated. I'm not even going to try and make this look coordinated. They're going all over the show, they're going on the floor. But as I say, you can't really do it while you're mixing the dough, because they just melt. They don't keep their form. I'm going to divide this into 8 equal portions. And I've just greased a cake tin about 22 centimetres round, because I'm doing this much like I did my my standard hot cross buns. I'm not sure if it was last year or the year before I did that video, but I do them like a big sort of a pull apart. So good. And they look really impressive that way too. So just form them into little balls. I'm going to cover them up again and leave them to rise up about an hour or so. And in the meantime, I'm going to make the pastry to do the crosses. Now, everyone's kind of got their own technique with the crosses. Some people like to do icing on them after they've cooked and cooled down. Some people have different just sort of flour and water type crosses. I really like, and I do the exact same thing for my standard hot cross buns, and that is I make some sweet short crust pastry and use that, and it is just so yummy. It just so makes it. And I thought about making that chocolatey too, but I don't think you need to. I think it stands out a bit more not having it chocolatey, and it's yummy. It is really yummy. Just because I'm not a fan of washing up, I'm just going to use the same bowl. It'll be fine. Now, of course, with this pastry, I'm going to be making way more than I'm going to be using for these crosses. But you can just wrap it up and put it in the freezer and just take it out when you need it for something else. Your next batch of hot cross buns. 1 cup of flour, about 75 grams of butter. We're going to cut that in, otherwise known as smooshing it about with your fingers, until it starts resembling breadcrumbs. Going to add in 1/4 cup of sugar. We need 1 egg yolk, about a tablespoon of water, and that makes just really yummy, simple, sweet pastry. And then I'm just going to wrap that up and put it in the fridge until these chalky cross buns are ready. Do that. So, amidst Sam's dancing, roll out some of this pastry. You can tell that for me this is an everyday occurrence. It's nothing unusual. Brush these with a bit of milk to make the crosses stick. Put the crosses on, and then we're going to bake these in a preheated oven. We want it on fan bake at 200 degrees Celsius, and we're going to bake them at 200 degrees for about 5 minutes. And after that, I want to turn it down to 180 degrees and keep them in there for a further 15 minutes. That came out of the oven about 5 minutes ago. Aston has appeared. Look how gorgeous that looks. You can either use maple syrup or golden syrup. Oh, look at that. Gorgeous.
Monsters.
Drizzle this stuff over. Ooh, yeah. And just paint it and make it beautiful and glossy. This is so satisfying for reasons. That is stunning. That is like a sock picking. Just gonna cut a bit out. Oh, look at that. All the little pockets of chocolate chips in there.
This chocolate. Oh.
I do like it. These are still good toasted, but when they're hot out of the oven, you know, well, you don't even have to grab it.
Oh, that'd be good with ice cream.
It's not like chocolate cake, It is more bready than that, and you can still taste the you can still taste like the cinnamon and the mixed spice in there. It is still a hot cross bun, but it is very chocolatey. Oh look, Sam's appeared.
No, it's very pudding. Just be epic pudding.
So I still reckon sliced with a bit of butter on.
It was really chocolatey. All it is chocolate. That's all that is.
Oh, that's good. That is so, so good. I have had these cooled down and toasted, and they're epic like that as well, but I mean, it is chocolatey, it is gooey. It's still got that hot cross bun spiciness to it. But yeah, I think as I say, I'm a traditionalist. I like normal hot cross buns, but these are awesome as a treat. So hit like, leave me a comment, hit subscribe.
Tasty.
That's your review. And make some of these. Bye.